Happy Thanksgiving Eve, everyone. I am solo right now. We are down. We are down a few. But we're gonna have Slow-Mo Backslap here joining us in a little bit. Forte is still at work. He may or may not be joining us. Eric Jackson is not with us tonight, and B Money is not with us as well. So I think Doc Gamer MD will be joining us. I think. He just was in the Discord. Actually, let me see something here real quick. Let me see if he's come back. No, he is not back yet. So let me see here. All right, and we might get Evan Bourne Saga in, but we'll see. He's got to do a quick wine run, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're here. It is the if you're here in the U.S., it is Thanksgiving Eve. And with Thanksgiving Eve, that means that it's also Black Friday in 48 hours. It's the time of the year where people here in the U.S. go nuts. It's the biggest retail shopping. Oh, yeah, Artemis, if you want to hop on, dude, please hop on. Orale. Come on, vato, my carnal. Hop on, man. Just join the Discord, Artemis. Let's get you in here, man. Black Friday's happening. And there's gonna be a lot of deals. A lot of people are going to be grabbing these next generation consoles. I can tell you that they're going to be hard to find. I can tell you that if you're looking for a PlayStation 5, GameStop does have a Black Friday bundle. They open up their doors tomorrow at 5 p.m. Whatever time zone you're in, 5 p.m. And they have limited quantities of PlayStation 5 bundles. They are only selling PlayStation 5 bundles, and those will the bundle will include Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition, and Ratchet and Clank, and a $100 physical GameStop store credit, plus a year of PlayStation Plus. For about I think it's $750. I think the actual bundle is. So if you're trying to get your hands on a PlayStation 5, tomorrow might be your opportunity if you can get there early enough in the afternoon, probably before the doors open, to get a PlayStation 5 at GameStop. We also got my man, Nice Guy Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm not a nice guy anymore. I need to change my name.
Oh boy, I appreciate you coming through.
Terror Slow-Mo now.
I just saw you weren't feeling it, man, so I appreciate you coming through, bro. Hey, man, if you got to go, man, it's okay. I get it. You know, it's Thanksgiving Eve. You know, I don't want you to be sick tomorrow. I want you to be able to eat all that turkey, get your face in the turkey, and blah, blah, blah. Eat it all up.
Man, the way I'm feeling right now, I got half a plate in me. That's about it. It's going to be half a plate, and I'm done.
Oh, that's too funny, man.
But no. I mean, I'm all right. It's a little. I don't know. It must have been something I ate, but it's got me feeling a little bit queasy. But I'll be all right, man. I'm not. I can tough it out, you know.
I tell you, what's not making you feel queasy is that Halo Infinite KDR you have, sir.
Oh well, you know. I mean, I'm doing okay. I'm doing all right, man.
Let me tell you something.
No. It actually went down like 0.10.
What's your KDR
in the past? It's like 1.34, I think. I think that's the last time I saw it. It was 1.34.
You know what my KDR is?
What is it?
1.08.
Well, you're still in the positive. You know, it's just put a little work in. That's all. You know, it's no big deal.
I was playing with OBM. Don't play with him.
Oh, why? That's tough. Don't play with OBM. What's wrong with playing with OBM?
There's something with playing with him where I don't know if it's server related or internet related, but you just get. It's
the skill based matchmaking. You're being matched with lobbies that are with the other team are closer to his KD his level. Is that it?
I don't know if that's it, man. I think it's. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Excuse me.
I mean, when I played with you before, I wasn't getting. It seemed like there was lag or something. Okay. So he,
You say it's a performance issue. It's something going on
internet,
performance wise.
I think on his end or something. But
okay, so you're in my neck of the woods. Where does OBM live?
he's in Michigan. So listen to this. So
that shouldn't be that bad then.
So
listen
to this. His hit percentage, right, is 60%. 60%, and he's still negative KDR.
OBM has a neck. Really?
No. In the games that I'm playing with him. So we think it's something network related, where it's like you join him and where he's part of. I don't know, man. He thinks that he gets thrown to a different server in like Europe. I don't know what's happening. I know that his connection was getting throttled.
Europe server. Good grief.
I don't know, man.
That's crazy. Well, look,
but maybe it is his level.
I don't know. Kinks to work out. They definitely got some kinks to work out. There is skill-based matchmaking enabled on quick play, which I think is ridiculous. Like, I don't think you should have skill-based matchmaking going in casual mode.
I don't think so either.
For ranked mode, for ranked matches, absolutely skill-based matchmaking. But like for casual, why? Like, I've noticed it now since I got ranked that like all of my, well, I actually noticed it a little bit before, but in the past like maybe 3 or 4 days, all of my lobbies are sweaty. Like it's super sweaty. And it's like
when I'm playing with him though, it's like I feel like guys are seeing me before I see them. Like it's like I'm turning the corner, I'm already getting shot. I'm like, where? How did you see out of that?
There is, well, I don't know about that. There is an aimbot, unfortunately, an aimbot cheat on PC right now for the game, which like this should have been expected. I know some people were like, what's good? How did this happen? And already, and I'm like, well, it's a free game. Free to play games get a ton of attention because cheaters can just make a new account whenever they get caught, and it costs them nothing. They don't have to buy the game again. They don't have to, like that. It's easy to continue to keep pushing that. But that said, like 343 just gotta get on the ball with getting the cheaters up out of here. Don't be Activision and not take care of this stuff in a timely manner. Like everyone deals with this. Apex Legends deals with this. Everybody deals. Valorant deals with this. They shouldn't go the Valorant route. I think that's Riot Games, but they put a rootkit on your PC, and before every match, they scan in your PC to make sure you don't have any software running.
Who's doing this?
This is I think it's
Apex?
Riot Games
or Valorant.
Yeah, for Valorant. Like, so if you
they put a rootkit on your PC, Jesus.
Yeah, man. Look, yo, it's pretty. They want root access to your PC so they can just go in and
they're not fucking around.
Yeah, like which. That game doesn't really have cheaters like that, but still, you don't want to give anyone else access to your PC. Period. So
I don't want to give anyone access to my PC. Fuck that.
Yeah. So it's just like it sucks, and as time goes on, they're going to end up being cheaters on console. There's going to be profiles created for the Zen Chronos and Zen Max accessories that people connect their controllers to, and then connect that to their PlayStation or their Xbox, and they'll use that to basically have over accelerated aim assist, which is was pretty much basically aimbot. So many people are doing it. Yeah, you see streamers get caught doing it.
Wow,
it's crazy. But it's just it's unfortunately a part of multiplayer games now that these developers gotta be on the ball and getting, and as soon as this stuff crops up, to determine how it's being done and root out the people who are doing it. So we'll see what happens.
It's. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're cheaters because it's on PC, and there's going to be cheaters on PC. There's, I know people don't think that people don't cheat on console. That's not true. That happens.
That is a myth that people have convinced themselves to make them feel comfortable that turning off crossplay will allow them to have a non-cheat lobby. It just doesn't. It's not reality. It's not. And it's funny because I see people get bodied, and then they always come up with these excuses on why they got bodied. Now, sometimes it's like, absolutely, that was a cheater. You can tell. You know, I played Rogue Company, and I started shooting at a guy, and this guy, and I remember one time this person dodge rolled, and in the dodge roll hit me with a headshot with a sniper rifle. I'm like, no.
A dodge roll and a headshot with a sniper.
No.
That's cheating.
You're cheating.
Yeah.
I saw another one of the same guy who was aiming at his like the animations of the character couldn't keep up with his aimbot, so he's aiming at like someone across the map. I start shooting him, and because his aimbot, he basically just barely turned in my direction, headshot me, and then went right back to aiming down sights across the map. It's like, that's impossible, bro. So you see stuff like that, you're like, that's definitely a cheater. I reported them. It's the best I could do, right? But when it comes to other situations where people are just getting beat, you're just getting outdueled, and there's a lot of that in Halo Infinite because the time to kill was a lot higher than other games. So anytime you start shooting at somebody, unless you hitting them with the skewer or a power weapon, or you hit them with some really deadly accurate headshots with the pistol or the battle rifle, they're going to have their opportunity to fire back. If you're good, they won't get a reversal on you. And so sometimes even if the person is great and you and they can get a reversal on you, but like there's a higher chance for reversals in Halo Infinite and in Halo period than any other game. And that's just the reality of it. People just can't accept it. They just think, oh, well, those mouse and keyboard players. And then on PC, I see PC guys on mouse and keyboard going, man, that aim assist for them console players. I'm just like,
wow.
It's like you just accept you lost, man. Like,
yeah, just take the L.
Just take the L, bro. Stop making excuses.
I don't know, man. I was playing today, and I mean, maybe it is a skill thing with OBM. It could be. I don't know. I mean, you know, he plays Halo more than I do, but
OBM's good.
The lobbies that I'm in, I mean, I'm like, yeah, it's not even competition for me. I'm just in there, I can't even tell you how many grenade kills I get, man. I can tell you how many Hail Marys I've gotten. You know, it's just I love getting the,
and that's what skill-based matchmaking does. It's supposed to, like, when you're by yourself, you're matched up against people that are at your same level. So you have, like, as long as you're actually, you know, playing up to your level or better, you're gonna dominate, or you're gonna like play well, have good KD, have good matches. And as you get better, as they start to kind of creep you up into upper levels, or if you start to do worse, they kind of put you down. That's the way it's supposed to make it, so that like it's.
I mean, it was like that in Halo 2.
Fair.
Yeah, it was like that in Halo 2. Yeah.
But what's not fair is when you're at like a higher level and everyone you play is at that level, and is always a sweat fest. It gets tiring sometimes. I would rather,
a little sweaty.
I would like a quick
It got sweaty with you, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, what? I'm like, Slow-Mo's got 30 kills. Like, what is happening here?
Oh man, which match was that? Was that the big team battle thing?
Well, you were on the same team as me, but
yeah.
But I just looked up and I'm like, what? I didn't even see you. Like I didn't see you on the map. I just looked up 30 kills. I'm like, what?
That was the point.
30 kills and like 3 deaths. I'm like, what?
I'm like the wind.
So seriously, man, like you were like, I don't know what you were doing, but. You were definitely like
I was shooting fools in the face. No, I think in that I can't remember that match. It was a lot because we did customs after that, and so that was fun too.
Yeah, I had to bail before you guys did customs. I had to leave.
Customs are do your you know how you get your training in, right? Like it's your pregame, it's your whatever, and then after everybody's kind of warmed up. Yeah, what's up?
What's going on, man?
I got so shat on today. It's not even funny, right? Like,
oh man.
Like work just absolutely destroyed me. And it's like everybody came in at the last minute. I'm like, y'all, we don't have a Black Friday sale on the ER. Y'all need to calm down, okay?
Oh my goodness. Well, Doc,
Yeah,
man, thanks for hopping on, man. I appreciate it, man.
No, I'm sorry. I was on the phone when you first asked me to come on. I didn't realize that you're in the Eastern time zone. I was like, shit, why is he so like concerned? I'm like, I'll be there in an hour. It's not a bit. And then I was like, oh, that's because he's in the wrong time zone. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the East Coast, man. Yeah, but yeah, no, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate it. We also got
Can I tell you a little funny story about spaces?
Oh, yeah, please.
Go ahead, Doc.
Okay, so, do you guys know what Clubhouse is?
Clubhouse.
Nintendo Clubhouse?
No, Clubhouse is like it is a social media platform that at first was like an invite only, very exclusive. Like there was like maybe 100,000 people that were in it, and they were all like these people that were grossly successful in like different fields or whatever. And somehow, some way, an invitation landed in my lap. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll sign up. So I sign up for this thing. And it's exactly what Twitter Spaces is, but that's all that it is. Like it's literally that's the entire social media platform is Twitter Spaces, right? And so just to compare and contrast, right? Like so yesterday I just decided to fire up the app because I'm always on Twitter Spaces. And I go into a room and it's like literally the who's who of R&B. Right, like Tank and like Daryl and like even Tyrese Gibson, like all these people, and I'm just sitting there comparing that to the Twitter Spaces and what we see, and it's funny, right? Because it's like just a totally different universe. I mean, like they were talking about like how they make money off their venues and like how as African Americans they don't get the same kind of billing and stuff that some of the old, like really crusty, kind of like 60s and 70s rock bands that are still around get. And, like what can we do to change it and stuff like that. And I mean, it was like just a totally different experience because it was the exact same feeling as being in spaces, but you're talking to people that are just like, I mean, I'm obviously not an R&B singer, right? At least not that y'all are aware of. But it's just like one of those things. It's just weird to be in somebody else's space because we're always in the gaming spaces and we all know each other. But then you got all these other, like even rich and famous people, in other words, do this kind of stuff. So it's not just an exclusive thing to gamers, but it's like across all walks and all, boundaries. And I just thought that was really interesting. It was a really weird place to be.
That's random, Doc. That's really random, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just kind of had to throw it out there.
No worries, man. No worries. Hey, real quick, I got my man Dark Optimus in the house. My fellow carnal. What's up, man?
You missed my intro for that fucking story? Jesus Christ, man. No.
That's pretty funny.
I haven't an intro yet.
Yeah.
No. What's up, man? I'm happy to be here, dude. I know. I was like, I got a call and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna be like 2 hours late," and I was like, "Okay."
Dude, I was look, man. I didn't want to tell you that. I was like, they're Latino. They're gonna be late as shit.
Yeah, I know. I just thought of that too. I was like, you know what?
I mean, come on, man.
I don't know why I didn't even
Latinos, man.
I know.
You know how it is, man.
I didn't even think of it, man. I don't know.
I tell my parents to be in my house like 30 minutes early, and they're like, and they're still late. I don't know how that happens. I'm like, how are you guys late?
They're like 3 hours late.
Yeah, I'm like, I told you to be here like a half hour before the shit starts. You're still late.
So true, man. So true.
Yeah, we got the super chat from Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, gotta say it was fun playing Halo Infinite with you last weekend, but very interesting conversation around I don't know how to describe it. Things.
Private parts?
Projectiles.
I mean, yes.
See, I don't know if we can talk about this because I don't like.
You don't want to get kicked off of YouTube.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to figure out if there's a medical term to it,
Yeah, they're probably. I mean, just describe it and let me see if I can guess it. I like games like this.
All right. Can I just DM it to you, Doc?
Yeah, DM it to me and I'll tell you what's up.
All right, I'm gonna DM Doc because this is something Sir X-Men was talking about. There was actually a conversation that we're having on Halo Infinite with myself, Optimus, and Xbot 448, who's in the live chat. Hold on a sec here. Gonna. All right, so it's a really random thing, and we were talking about it as we're playing Halo. I don't even know what mode we were playing, but anyhow. But yeah, great to see you. Sir X-Men says, hello, everyone, and BRAP just listening at work. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Sir X-Men. But it was a very interesting conversation. I don't even know how that came up, Onimus.
So the technical term for what you just sent me is just basically female ejaculation, right?
Okay, thank you.
It's really interesting because, you have in males you have the prostate gland, right?
Wait,
well,
Doc,
what people don't realize.
Doc, real quick. I'm sorry. Just to give you a little context. So, Sir X-Men brought that up. Says that he's had that experience quite a few times. Someone in the party as we're playing Halo Infinite said, "Oh, that's not what you think it is. It's actually urine." So, can you kind of just explain that a little bit, medically speaking?
Yeah. So
yes.
So the thing is, there's a couple of points. And I'm going to go starting on the men's side, right? So on the male side, you have a prostate, okay? And on the female side, you basically have prostate-like tissue. That's what is affectionately known as the G-spot, okay? So they're like these little glands and stuff that are around the urethra. And, long story short, sometimes you get some, secretions that come down the urethra. Now, in women, there is a urine component to that, right? Sometimes there's some urine stuff. If they're just going for days, it's yeah, they're peeing on you.
Oh, wow. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
Oh, just nonchalant. Yeah, they're peeing on you. Thanks, Doc.
Hey, man, just wanted to, clear the air. Just anything I can do to help.
Yeah. It's a gaming podcast, not a... Oh, man.
Well, I mean, or urinating on you. Let's keep it technical, right? So...
Right, yeah.
That type of thing. But, no, it's just one of those deals where it does happen. It's the majority of the times that it happens, it's more urine than not. They've analyzed that fluid about 1,000 times, and there's prostate specific antigen or some of the prostate equivalent stuff that's in that fluid, and so it's one of those deals where it's the discharge from those glands plus a little bit of pee.
So it is urine then.
Well, it's urine with other stuff, right? It's a combo.
All right. So
but I mean, if it's copious, then she's peeing on you.
All right. What if it's cold?
What if it's what?
What if it feels cold?
Cold?
Yeah.
You got to leave those cadavers alone, man.
No, no, not. I'm saying
Oh man.
All right, I got a story to share.
Okay.
So I feel like this has turned into. Remember that show with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla? What was that show?
Yeah,
called?
absolutely. That is my dream job. I could totally do that.
Okay, so I think we're doing that right now, and I think Slow-Mo's probably like, "What the fuck's happening right now?" Slow-Mo, I'm sorry, man. Are you there?
He muted his mic. He's not trying to be a part of this.
Slow-Mo's like, I gotta go. All right, so someone said biology, radio, anatomy podcast, BRAP. That's great. All right, so I gotta be careful. My wife's upstairs. So there was a girl that I was, having intimacy. I was being intimate with her, right? I was having sex with her. And I'll never forget, she's on top and stuff, and, we're doing our thing, and I had my shirt on. All of a sudden, my shirt just gets really drenched, like the bottom of it, right? And it feels cold. Did she pee on me, man? Is that what happened?
Yeah, man. She pissed on your chest. I mean, that's the bottom line.
While I'm having sex with her, she peed on me?
Well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't there, and I didn't analyze the fluid that came out of your girl. So, to be honest, I can't say. But in general, if poking your shirt, most likely it's more urine than anything
How
else.
the fuck did that happen?
I mean, I guess, I mean,
so Doc,
I could see Doc being analyzing that shit, just being like, oh yeah, she definitely peed on you, dude.
I mean, so here's the thing of it, right? Like, ultimately, I mean, if it's consenting adults and you're having a good time and it feels good, then knock yourself out. And at the bottom line on that is, people think that, like, men in specific have this really weird notion that somehow, some way, like, the orgasms that women have are like these alien, like, weird, they're not related. They can't understand. It's like this big mystery. And what you don't realize is that it's an analogous thing, right? Like, men and women have orgasms that feel. I mean, they feel the same, right? Like, what we as men feel is this, same as the way women feel. The difference is that they don't have that sensation of ejaculation usually, but it's not that they can't. And some women are, more able to do that than others.
I'm just coming back. I had some family things. What in the world are we talking about? Like, I have no idea how we got here.
Hey, Brad brought it up, man.
Of course,
got to bring it up to that guy.
Well, there was a story. We were playing Halo Infinite, and
so what does Halo Infinite have to do with ejaculating? I don't know.
Well, because
Sir X-Men brought it up.
Yeah, we're playing with Sir X-Men, and we're in the middle of like capture the flag, and he's like, "Hey guys, you have any girl?" That's a poor impersonation of him, the way he speaks, but like he's got like this raspy voice.
Raspier.
Yeah. And he starts talking about this. So I don't know, Doc's a doctor, so I just brought it up. I'm like, let me ask the doc. Makes sense, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, if you actually look back, I shared a tweet probably 2 weeks ago that was about this specific topic.
About squirting?
Yeah, female ejaculation.
Like, did you make a Spaces, or did you make like a
no
Activity or something?
you know how like I'm on the gamers stuff.
Yeah,
I did a lot of docs and stuff that I mess around with in terms of like interacting with, and one of them is a urologist, and she went through like the whole entire thing about female ejaculation and like all this other stuff like recently, and I retweeted her tweet.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say, Doc. Yeah.
I just want to say y'all bored as hell. Y'all bored. Ain't no topics out here for y'all to talk about. So y'all talking about.
Hey man,
stuff.
there's no PlayStation topics to talk about. So we're just
Yeah. No. Hey, real quick. Speaking of, thank you for that explanation, Doc. I appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, it's kind of a interesting conversation we're having in Halo Infinite. But on that note, though, how about Bobby Kotick, huh? Let's get it up for Bobby.
Oh man.
What ended up happening? Did he resign yet?
No, he said if he can't change the culture, he'll resign.
Yeah. I don't believe it.
Yeah, but that motherfucker ain't changing shit. Like, look, that company is a frat house, right? Him and the board of directors are all in it together, and so the board is not going to do anything. The only way that he will get knocked out of office is two ways. Number one, if it's seriously and legitimately damaging the business of Activision, then they have the board has a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders to make a change, and they will get rid of the guy. That is the only way, because Kotick himself owns such a large percent of the company that there's not enough shareholders to really be able to push him out per se. And the shareholders that did sign the letter saying, "Hey, we need him out," they're like, they
own less than 5%, 5% of the company. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, they're chumps. None of their voices will ever be heard. So it's really going to come down to Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony saying, "We're going to delist all of your software until you remove your CEO."
Yeah. I actually saw something. I don't know how legitimate it is, but there was someone on Twitter who they work in games and media, so maybe it is. There's some credence to it, but was saying that there are members of the board that this summer got like some serious stock options from Activision that basically they won't come to fruition. They won't be able to like maybe cash out on those stock options until like 2023, 2025. So like but it seems like Bobby Kotick helped them get that, and so they may feel some kind of loyalty to him. And so that may be why so far like the things that he's been accused of have been in some cases worse than what the other people that he has fired since all this stuff started have been accused of, yet he's still here. and that might be why they are resistant to that. But that said, him still being there is like their stock has dropped dramatically. I don't think it's just because of the bad press. It's also because Call of Duty Vanguard's this year's Call of Duty is not as popular as other ones were.
Nobody like it.
And so a lot of people aren't happy with that, and I think that probably is adding to it. This stuff clearly isn't helping either. But yeah, him saying he would step down, like I almost kind of feel like they're pretty much negotiating behind the scenes on a care package or a severance package for him if he does go, and if that doesn't work out to his satisfaction, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I agree with you. I want to give a big proper introduction because he walked into a very interesting topic. I want to give a big shout out to, can I call you Santa Forte? I don't know where Forte went. Forte, are you there?
I think
you said Santa Forte?
Yes.
Ho, ho, ho.
That was pretty bad.
I'm the stork. The stork has come, raised his wings, and shined upon all his people that love him so much.
You brought BRAP another kid? Oh man.
And he did not. Man. He did not buy me another kid.
I definitely did not buy him a kid. We ain't in that line of work.
But Forte has
brought him another kid because you said you were a stork, so you brought him another kid.
Forte is bringing holiday cheer to people who want particular console. So I just want to say thank you, Forte. Great dude in the community, man. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you, man. But Forte, no, glad you can make me. I know you're busy, man. I know we've been chatting, off and on today, man. But
all day.
Glad you're here. Yeah, pretty much all day. Yeah. So, so I don't think Bobby Kotick's going to leave anytime soon. It's unfortunate. Although, Nintendo's spoken out now. Phil Spencer Xbox spoke out, I think, to your point.
Yeah, but,
go ahead, Doug.
But now Sony's got like some sexual harassment stuff that they're having to deal with. So shit's about to get real.
Are they? I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah, it's like there was a woman who said that she was passed over for promotions multiple times, and that when she would try to address these, she was blown off, and so she's suing Sony for sexism, basically.
Is this Sony? Now, is this the PlayStation Group, or is it like different division? Sony
was that it was PlayStation.
Oh wow! Well, time to fire fucking Jim Ryan then, right? Get him out.
Well, here's the whole thing. It's like, let's be honest here. Out of all the studios, who's been? I'm
waiting for this to be a Spaces, by the way, Doc, with the Xbox contingent. Jim Ryan needs to go. He's sexist. Spaces.
Well, look, here's the bottom line. It's like you have to look generationally who we're talking about, right? Like these are people who grew up in the old boy network, and it's like 10 years from now, and you won't see any of these people, right? Like you have a much better, much better like diversity and things like that, because this is the last of the old guard. And pretty much anybody who's like in their mid 50s right now is the end of that. And so anybody new that's coming up, hopefully will be a lot better, for the company, which is interesting because Microsoft has a slightly younger suite of executives currently. And their diversity is also reflective of that, right? Like Sarah Bond, for example.
Bonnie Ross.
Yeah, exactly.
Out there looking like a snack.
They
Can I say that?
I don't know, man.
Can I say that she looks like a snack? Or will I get canceled?
I'm saying no. No,
I'm going to say no on that one. Yeah.
How about Sarah Bond?
Oh my God.
Let's get back on track with the topic, please.
But
be great.
No, but seriously, she's beautiful. She's smart. She's talented. I think that when Phil Spencer eventually resigns or gets promoted, Sarah Bond is going to take over Xbox. That's my prediction.
I think so too.
I could definitely see that happening.
I think so too.
Yeah, just her being added to the Sega Microsoft deal, although it's not what people thought it meant clearly, but it is. Sega is a video game company.
No, exclusives are coming with that, Slow-Mo.
Right, yeah. And this was exclusive games. Persona 6 exclusive to Xbox, right? No, I think that her being added to that is really important, especially considering it's a long-term deal. So, like, whatever this super game initiative thing that Sega is working on that they are going to be using Azure with isn't really going to start to actually take root and actually see some actual things happening from it for years from now. If Phil is, say, planning his exit, it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't be a part of something that would not actually start to happen until he's already gone. So
Didn't Microsoft
potentially have your successor there.
Didn't
I think
Microsoft
that,
already ask him that to find his successor?
I think that. So first of all, if Microsoft wanted him gone, he'd be gone, right?
No,
So
I mean they probably just like telling him to fish for his successor because of the fact that
he's going to get promoted to something. I don't know what
he's probably gonna get promoted to something.
He's going to
else.
Sony. Calling it right now.
Well,
and I can't wait for that Spaces.
I don't see Phil Spencer like ever leaving Microsoft in terms of that. I think he'll probably move on to something else besides Xbox. But I don't think he'll ever like leave the Microsoft unless he gets too old. And
I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon. I think that he wants to make sure, like, Phil Spencer is going to leave on a high, and for him to leave on a high means you have to be in a scenario where you've got 2 to 4 AAA titles coming out per year every year, plus some amazing AA titles that are also going to be another 4 to 6. So that you've got this, perfect slate of, release titles and things like that. And I think until that happens, so in other words, once all 23 studios are firing at full steam and releasing titles with regularity, that's probably the time that he will transition.
Okay.
Because he just birthed the baby. He's got to grow it up now,
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point.
Yeah.
I mean, but I do agree with Slimmo. I do think that Sarah Bond would probably, I could see her taking over.
She'd kill it.
Yeah,
she would
she would absolutely murk it.
I think she'd be great for the role, and I think they already kind of maybe have not like fully already 100% said in their internally she's the next one up, but I think it's probably leaning that way considering like I said that Sega deal isn't going to be something that's going to be like a thing for like maybe another 3 to 5 years. But
you guys realize
who's leading that? For Microsoft, it's her and not anyone else. Go ahead.
Well, you know that Sony and Microsoft made the same deal, right? Like,
oh yeah. I tried to tell that to people on Twitter and got all kinds of hate for it. You
don't know what you're talking about, Slow-Mo.
Right. But yeah, they did make the same deal, but it was I think there is some credence to the fact that the first deal had Satya Nadella really kind of like speaking up about it on the Microsoft side, and this one now has Sarah doing it. And clearly we know that the Sony deal isn't going to involve any kind of like games or anything like that. Clearly whatever Sega is making is going to probably end up on the Xbox platform, not exclusive. But like this is definitely going to help them. I do agree with those who feel like it will help Microsoft and Sega relations so that more of Sega's games are multi-plat and not necessarily strictly only on Nintendo or PlayStation. But exclusive games is clearly out of the question. But just to kind of see Sarah in that role, whereas like everyone else that works there outside of Phil is they stay within whatever their circle of influence is. Like she's got Game Pass. Bad Booty has the first party studios. That kind of stuff.
Slow-Mo, you think she'll institute some higher level quality control?
I don't know about that. Look, here's the thing. I don't know what a Sarah Bond lit Xbox looks like because everybody has their own management style, and how people operate when they're not the head honcho is different than how they operate when they're the head honcho. So who knows? They could go. I mean, I think that as long as Satya is the CEO, they're always going to be focused on Azure cloud, on putting their games everywhere, that kind of deal. Game Pass will always be the basement, the foundation of everything they do. I don't think they're going to switch gears like that. But like as far as the not micromanaging, but getting into managing the studios, I do think there may be a different philosophy on how that's done. Because clearly, like the hands-off approach is Phil Spencer. That's all Phil. And
it's really interesting, right? So Microsoft, obviously, they're doing the whole Azure thing to compete against like Amazon's AWS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what Microsoft is doing is they are building a portfolio of gaming companies that use their infrastructure. I'm telling you now, mark my words, we might be old and dead, but 10, 15 years from now, you're going to start seeing basically a convergence of all the Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony working together. And you know how, like, for example, you could buy a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, and that Blu-ray player, it doesn't matter if you buy it from Samsung or Panasonic or whomever, it still plays Blu-ray discs. Now, they've got different features and they've got different bells and whistles, and you could buy a $1,000 Blu-ray player, or you could buy a $50 Blu-ray player, right? So my feeling is that maybe these guys are going to come to some kind of consensus and say, hey, let's make a universal platform in terms of playing. And then that way we can all focus on publishing games, and then each one of us can release whatever variant of hardware that we want. But you can take a disc, and regardless of the IP, you can play it on, it doesn't matter whose system you're playing it on. So, I think that this whole entire tribalistic, fanboyistic type stuff will eventually kind of go away. I mean, go down to the actual IPs themselves, right? And it's just one of those deals. I think that it makes too much sense, because if they took all of the R&D budgets for hardware out of the equation,
R&D,
right? Just think about how much they could put towards games, and they can put towards services, because as internet infrastructure improves, then the dependence on an actual local machine starts dropping. Not that you won't need one, and not that there won't be one, but as time progresses, you'll see this kind of a paradigm shift in the industry, where people start moving towards an online forever kind of access to be able to play games.
Slow-mo, I'm sorry, Slow-mo. Doc, real quick, I'm gonna get a super chat from Sir X-Men. $2 super chat from Sir X-Men again. Says, you just run 56 years, a fun, thanks, BRAP. I don't know what he means by that, but thank you for that super chat. Sir X-Man.
You just run 56 years?
What does he mean by that? I don't know what he means. Hey, Slow-mo, I got a question for you.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, what up?
Should I choose violence?
Yeah,
oh boy. Sure, why not? What's going on, man?
I just saw something here in the live chat that I got to call out real quick.
I think I know. Hey, you don't know
who it is. You don't know who it is. So we have Andrea Piccini, whatever your name is, tweeting out conspiracy theories and tinfoil QAnon type tweets about the Game Awards being rigged. I want to say salute to you, Andrea, for posting the most dumb shit I've ever seen on Twitter. Salute to you.
Oh, man.
How the fuck did we go from console war to QAnon type shit? God damn it.
Where did the QAnon stuff come from? I'm
Well, there was a tweet that came out today.
I'm saying QAnon level type conspiracy stuff, right? Like
right. I'll explain it. There was a tweet that came out today, and it looks like the tweet was insinuating, there was screenshots in it that were insinuating that there was already a choice of game of the year in this Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Yeah, winner. I saw that. Okay,
yeah.
That's okay.
Now, what I think Andrea and others who kind of picked up the flag on that don't understand is that you can, like, let's say if I go on to the Video Game Awards website and I can actually pull up the HTML locally on my computer
on
and modify it.
Chrome.
It's true. You could do this
on
with
Google
tweets.
Chrome.
Yeah, I mean, I could go through, like, say,
this was done on Chrome, by the way.
And like Enrique could tweet about like how he's loving I don't know, Ghost of Tsushima, rivals. What was it called again? Ghost of Tsushima. What was it? Whatever it's called, right? And I can actually, on my side, actually modify what his tweet says. That doesn't change what his tweet actually says because it's really only showing whatever I want it to type it as on my computer. But if I make a screenshot and then make it appear as if that's really what it is when it's not, then you can kind of fool people into thinking that.
Oh, by the way, she has since deleted her tweet, but we have receipts, young lady. We have receipts.
Well, I mean, I'm not as aggressive as Enrique is with this.
Oh, let me tell you something.
Hold on, Enrique.
Go ahead,
I don't know fully her motivations with that. I don't know whether she got bamboozled by someone else doing that and just thought it was real, or if she did it herself or not. I don't know. But I'm not going to make that assumption. But like, just to kind of let everyone know that's. Like you can make things appear as if, like, I've seen people do this before. I've actually played around with it, not necessarily to kind of like, state someone said something they didn't say, but just thinking it was funny to kind of like have a tweet where someone who I know loves like X platform and then seeing them say, "Oh, I love this platform," just because it's hilarious. But I would never like screenshot that and then tweet it out. But that's essentially... She
tweeted it out. People respond. What's even more astonishing too is that people actually responded, and like one person was like, "Oh, Jeff Keighley, I hope this isn't true." What?
Yeah, and Jeff Keighley actually responded to
Jeff
it.
Keighley,
and said that,
do you know every fucking year, Slow-Mo, we go through this, man. Every year with the Game Awards show, people fucking soil their pants and get all pissy and upset because their fucking game wasn't nominated for Game of the Year. Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? Now we have people talking about starting their own award show.
Well, especially when it comes to a game like this. I mean, Ratchet and Clank is well deserved to win Game of the Year. I mean, the game was phenomenal. I mean, say what you will about the game, say that it's just like it's every other Ratchet and Clank. Say what you will, it was a really good game. I mean, the game definitely would deserve that. But were there better games? Yeah. Were there games that were on that list that should have been on that list and weren't on that list? Absolutely. But that's the thing. For me, I could give two shits about the Game Awards. All I care about is watching the trailers for new games.
Yeah,
but that's what people really come to the Game Awards for. It's the most popular Game Award show, not because it's the best or it's the most legitimate. No, it's because you might see a new console revealed there, or you might see some games that may have been rumored or from your favorite developer revealed for the first time there. That's why the Game Awards are popular. It's a popularity contest, and it's a marketing machine for all the games that are nominated, because every game that gets nominated gets a boost in sales. So that's really what it's really all about. Now, about Ratchet and Clank, I don't think it's worthy of Game of the Year. I do kind of feel like, I think Resident Evil Village, even though I didn't play it, and I'm not basing it winning on me playing it, I'm basing it on just how I kind of feel like the politicking and dynamics of the Video Game Awards show goes. I feel like Capcom is a safe pick, and so therefore Resident Evil Village is universally well liked as a game, and I think if it wins, no one's going to be like, well, this was a sham. No one's going to say that if Village wins. So I kind of feel like that's going to be the pick. But if Ratchet and Clank wins, I'm not upset about it. I enjoyed the game. I had a great time with it.
I'm going to tell you who's going to win this. If it's not rigged, right? It's going to be Psychonauts 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that could be very possible, because that game was
same reasoning that Slow-Mo just gave, right?
This is a safe pick.
It's a safe pick. It gives a nod to Microsoft. It gives a nod to Sony, because it's on both consoles.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's to be able to kind of say, hey, look, Microsoft did good by, changing up their lack of studios by increasing studios, and then putting this game out and then keeping it multi-plat, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's if I was on the politics side only, we're not talking about the quality of the games, but on the politics side only, that would be the one that I would pick, because I think Resident Evil, it's just too. Resident Evil 8. Anytime you give a Game of the Year award to like the 8th in a series, it's kind of like, bro, come on, man.
It's a little niche too. It's not for everybody. I feel like Psychonauts is a little bit more for kids. It's for adults. It's for anybody who really likes that kind of like platformer.
It's not an R-rated experience,
right?
With the 8-foot tall vampire lady. I can't pronounce her name.
I want to say something. I want to say something.
Lady Demestru. Yeah.
I want to say something real quick. So Andrea is in the live chat. She's saying, "We'll see if I'm wrong." If you're fucking right, that doesn't prove anything. It just means you got lucky.
Lucky, yeah. It
doesn't prove anything.
It's like the anti-vaxxer logic. It's like, I got the vaccine and then I died, and it's like, bro, you died because you have all this other stuff going on, and whatever else, and it's like people want to be all like, no, man, it's the government. They made me magnetic, and I get free 5G, and I'm like, bitch, if I got
government's out to get me, man.
If I got free 5G, bro, you know how awesome that would be? I'd be able to take my PlayStation, my Xbox, my Switch, and the game at the nth degree. That would be so wicked.
If Ratchet and Clank wins, it doesn't prove that the war show is rigged. It's just because the evidence of it being rigged isn't actual evidence. So it's like, unless there is some kind of smoking gun where it's like there's a conversation where it's like, well, look, damn the votes.
But this
one's winning. Do that, though? Like, to what end, right? Like, it doesn't.
Well, this is where critical thinking goes out the window for some of these people. Go ahead. Right? Like, I think, Doc, what I'm hearing you say is like, why? You're critically thinking. You're asking the question, why, who, what? Well, who benefits from that, right? Why, what, right? Is that where you're going down?
Yeah.
Is that the? Go ahead, Doc.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's like, I don't know what happened, but like, everybody drank some form or variant of the conspiracy theory Kool-Aid, right? And they apply it to every aspect of their life. And I just want to slap the shit out of people. I'm like, bro, it's like, there's not some secret, reptilian lizard race of people running around putting kids in the basement of a pizzeria and then sacrificing them or whatever the
vaccines will make you sterile.
Yeah, or any of that shit. I'm like, nobody even understands, right? Like, I'm sorry on the vaccine part. Like, I blocked Wooly Gamer. I got tired of his bullshit. And yeah, I'm shouting out his name here or whatever. But I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up, right? You don't know enough to argue what the fuck you think you're arguing. Like, know your fucking role. Like, pull that shit in. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, people need to understand that it's like, when it comes down to it, there are people who know stuff more than you, and it's okay to defer to them. It's called deferring to expertise, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like, I don't pretend I'm a neurosurgeon. I don't pretend I'm a cardiologist, right? There's all these different fields of medicine, for example, where I'm not an expert in. I know a lot about,
But you are a doctor.
I am, and I understand how to interact and engage and obtain information and process that information. But I don't have the 8 years of training that a neurosurgeon does in terms of neurosurgery. And if you came to me and said, Doc, we need to do neurosurgery, I'm like, bro, that's outside of my scope of practice. I don't do that, right? And so it's like, when somebody who may or may not have, even gotten out of like high school or maybe, some college level stuff, and they want to talk about basic biology with me, I'm like, bro, it's like, do you even know what you're talking about? Like, do you even have the educational foundation? That's like me trying to play basketball against,
LeBron James,
Johnson, or, whatever. In his retired state, he would dunk on my ass all day, every day.
Dude, that's the same thing I get when it comes to movies. Because I went to school for film school, and then, I'm in the film industry. I get that all the time. People want to argue with me about movies, and I'm just like, dude, you have no idea. You're not in it. You don't know anything. You think you know because of what you read on the internet or what you read in some freaking stupid ass article that doesn't make any fucking sense. You don't know shit. Yeah. and they get all upset and all huffy and puffy, and they're like, "Oh, you think you know everything?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think I know everything. I just know what I know, and that's it. I'm just trying to give you the facts."
Absolutely. And it's funny because it's like one of those deals where it's like, when you try to send me the link to a YouTube video about an angry white guy that doesn't want to get the fucking vaccine, you automatically lost. You automatically prove to me that you are a dumb piece of shit and have no fucking idea what you're talking about. And that's the problem, right? It's because you'll get these folks that are the tent poles within these conspiracy theory communities, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, look at his qualifications and look at this and look at that. I'm like, that's sort of like, if 9 out of 10 dentists recommend a toothbrush, are you going to listen to the 9, or are you going to listen to that one cocksucking sack of shit who didn't, deserve for you to listen to him in the first place, right? And so it's the same thing. I'm like, you're going to listen to that one person because it happens to line up with your bullshit fantasy. You're failing to even see the point that person is taking advantage of you and trying to monetize their message so you can enrich them. That's what they're there for. They don't care. They're not even true believers in your conspiracy level bullshit. They're just trying to make money.
Man,
and
I
it's
feel
like
people. I feel like I'm in church right now. Let's go.
I mean, I'm sorry. I get a little soapboxy sometimes, but bro, it's kind of like enough is enough.
I love Doc's passion,
you hear
by the way.
You hear like 100 times, and you just want to fucking pull your hair out. I know how it is, dude. I know.
Orderly.
You hear something, and you're like, oh god.
I think all people know.
Yeah, and real quick, guys,
organ sound effects. That's it.
Yeah,
organ sound effects.
Exactly. Hey, I want to get back to some gaming-related stuff real quick. Black Friday deals. There's a bunch of them out there. Forte, enlighten us. What's going on Black Friday at GameStop?
What's going on at BRAP? What? Oh, you probably put me out there. Well, GameStops are going to have PlayStations in store tomorrow. They're going to have Xboxes in store tomorrow. So if you are one of those lucky individuals that haven't gotten one, or unlucky individuals, I should say, there's a good opportunity for you to get them. All stores open at 5 o'clock tomorrow, so there's a lot of good things. They're bundles only, but they're going to be available in stores for only the second time in the last calendar year. So that's actually one of the bigger things. And then there's just a crap ton of stuff like games on sale. Like, we're talking about games like Guardian of the Galaxy that literally just came out like not even a month ago, is on sale for like $29.99. So that's just the beginning of the sales. A whole bunch of Nintendo stuff's on sale too. Switch OLEDs, if you're one of those few people that didn't get one, those are going to be in store tomorrow. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty crazy day, especially at GameStop.
You guys are going to be busy as fuck tomorrow.
Man, tomorrow, it is only for 4 hours, bro. 5 to 9. I can only imagine it's going to be disgusting.
Yeah. And by the way, if you're looking to stack up on PlayStation Plus, you get 12 months of PlayStation Plus from Amazon, Target, Best Buy, for $40, as Forte just mentioned. You can also stack up 3 months Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You can get this deal for $25 at Target, Amazon, GameStop. That's what I did. I stacked 18 months for the price of a little bit, actually less than the price of what it would normally cost retail for a year for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. That's actually a great deal. Nintendo Switch with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. With 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online, it's $2.99 at Target, Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop. Legend of Zelda, which never goes on sale, $40. $40 right now.
But didn't it go down to $26 at one point?
It was literally it was $26 2 days ago.
Yeah, it
so
was.
What's the deal? Did they cancel that? Like, because I mean,
I don't know, man.
Is that promo over?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's still digital. You can still get a digital version of it from GameStop for $26, but the physical version is back up to $39.
Yeah, Kevin X, no Halo Xboxes. Those are pretty much damn near impossible to find at this point. Hate to be the bearer.
Walmart and Myers tomorrow. I hear Myers.
Halo Xboxes.
The Halo edition. Myers is doing them
Walmart.
at 12 midnight.
Okay.
Yeah, 12 midnight tonight. Myers. They are going to have them on their website. First come, first serve. What my friend told me is if you signed up for the M card, it makes it a little bit easier for you to get them. So make sure you do that if you have it. Okay,
that's good to know. Thank you, Forte. I thought they were pretty much done. They appreciate that. It Takes Two is $20 right now on Amazon, Best Buy. I believe it's also on Game Pass right now if you have Xbox. My personal game of the year, Returnal, is $43. for PS5 at Amazon and Walmart. That's a great game if you haven't played it. Ratchet and Clank is $50 on Amazon, Target, and PlayStation Network. What else here? Psychonauts 2, $30 on Amazon, Best Buy, also free on, not free, but it's part of Game Pass as well. And the Ori collection is $12 on Microsoft Store. If you're interested in that.
Crazy.
Hitman 3 on all platforms, $20. Target, Best Buy, Double Kill. I think I'm just going through all these. Yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, as far as deals go, I think.
We got TVs.
Yeah, we got
TV. I might actually get myself that LG C1. I see you on
slow-mo.
It's like $200 off on Best Buy.
Slow-mo, do it, baby.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead now.
Amazon's got it too for $17.96 on the 65-inch.
Look, it's
slow-mo.
It's more of convincing the wife to go.
Oh man, come on, man! You buy that woman everything she wants.
Hey, let me ask you something, man.
We need to, because look, if I don't get that, I'll get that Hisense U8G. That's like really good.
No, you won't.
C1, dude. I'm telling you, slow-mo. Slow-mo.
No, that's a really good TV.
It is a good TV.
The rating review on it is pretty awesome.
Slow-mo.
But it's not the C1, clearly.
Slow-mo. Let me tell you something. The C1 not only is it game-changing for playing video games for me, but in terms of watching movies, oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
It's looking like it's going to be the C1 anyway. We'll see. But I'm either going to do it.
And it works well with PC, by the way.
Probably, yeah, I heard that as well. Probably Friday. I'll do it because I'll make that decision because clearly tomorrow I'm not going anywhere or doing anything outside of visiting family for Thanksgiving, but we'll see what happens.
I'm going to Bojangles in Clinton.
For what?
Someone said
bubble guts. For
bubble guts, right? Come on, man. Yeah, let me tell you something, man. I used to hit up Bojangles in Clinton all the time when I was down there, man. It was like I had to go there. It's the only Bojangles I know. So, all right. All right, so those are Black Friday deals. Let's get to Phil Spencer. Basically,
what does Bojangles chicken taste like?
I think it tastes good.
Like, what if you had to compare it to like something that's national? What would you compare it to?
It ain't better than Popeyes.
I think it's better than Popeyes.
What?
What's better?
I don't know, man. Popeyes is...
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I like the biscuits at Bojangles better too.
But Roscoe's in LA.
Roscoe's chicken and waffle, yeah. Never had
that.
Well,
Popeye's biscuits are considered a lethal weapon. So, like, I mean, I understand. Like anyone would have better biscuits than Popeyes, but the actual chicken.
Man, Popeyes are like a lead fucking rock, man.
I think Church's has the best biscuits, sir.
Yeah, I don't think we butter your mom's biscuits tomorrow night.
Oh man.
Oh, back on gaming.
Enrique's eye pocket all night, man.
You know what? It's Thanksgiving, and you know what? It takes something. It's I took off today. First time I've had some time off, because I've been busting my ass at work. So I'm gonna fucking have some fun tonight, man. Right?
And make sure you save all that energy for your wife tonight, man.
Oh no, that ain't happening, bro.
Why ain't gonna happen, man? Hey, man, look, this is one of the few days that you can literally say no one has to work tomorrow. Nobody got to get up and take school kids nowhere.
We can't do that because
what?
We just can't do it right now. I have to wait a couple days.
Oh, you got in-laws in?
Yeah, the in-laws. The aunt is in town.
You don't listen. I never got that. You don't want them to know that you've been doing this. And
no, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm going to defer to Doc here.
Whoa, amp low. Come on.
Thank you, Doc. Doc got it. Come on.
Jeez. No, I'm done.
14 seconds. Look,
I'm trying to figure this out here.
I was trying to be very I'm
slow today, man.
Without saying it,
Doc
got it.
My mind has been running. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So.
said it, and that weird hesitation in your voice, I was like, I know exactly what he's talking about. I was
Thank
like,
you,
I know
Doc.
what you talking about now too. After y'all,
yeah,
y'all
but it took
kinda
like
Jesus-
3 minutes, a
Yes.
whiteboard, and like
Listen,
smoke signals for you to
listen.
pick it up, man. Come on.
Listen, I got eye and mouth disease right now from like looking at a
I
screen
have
all
mouth
day.
disease. What?
Oh my
You mean foot
god.
mouth disease?
Been working since 10 o'clock this morning.
Eye and
Bro, I've been
mouth
up since 7
disease.
o'clock
That doesn't even
this morning.
sound right.
This man said eye and mouth. That's not a thing, Forte. We actually have a doctor here that can tell you that's not a thing.
He ain't got that. He's got foot mouth disease, maybe. But
Right.
Yeah, foot mouth, exactly.
I actually know someone who caught that because his son was
His
in
son, yeah.
daycare, and his son in daycare came home with it.
Oh, that's
and-
very
and-
common from daycare. Yeah.
again and again.
So real quick. So Phil Spencer's confirmed that the next Elder Scrolls 6 will be exclusive to Xbox. I'm not surprised by that. Anyone on the panel
Shocker.
surprised?
No.
I don't. Wait,
No.
wait, say it again. Say it again, Enrique.
Elder Scrolls 6 is exclusive to the Xbox.
That's
You
a
said you're not. You said you're not surprised by that, right? That's what you just said, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That's not what you were telling us
Uh-oh.
like 5 or 6 months ago when this whole
Uh-oh.
conversation was a big thing. You
Actually,
was
I think
like,
I remember
I don't
that.
know, man. They spent all this money. They want to recoup they money. So now all of a sudden you believe in it.
Well, why wouldn't I believe in it? Phil Spencer just said it.
Well, what he's saying is that why didn't you believe in it before?
But
Oh
we
well,
kept telling y'all that this was the case.
okay. I also had. Remember this? I interviewed there,
Uh-huh.
and I was told that things were going to be pretty much the same. So I thought maybe right?
But if your source is the guy that's like doing Q&A on Elder
he's not.
Scrolls
No,
Online, he doesn't have any like.
No, this is someone in corporate. No, this is not. That was-
Okay.
Yeah, that was no.
Well, you need to
So-
fire that dude.
So
No,
But look,
tomorrow
man,
is Friday, and then I get to.
Here is your pink slip as my insider for all the things with that.
Yeah.
You know, good luck
All right.
out there. sir.
Okay, all right. Let's go to Halo here. We're going to talk about Halo Infinite campaign impressions. We got some more input for the media. The media provided us with hands-on impressions of the campaign. A lot of it seems pretty positive, although there's some questions by some media types about how the overarching story will tie into this open world or this semi-open world. But at least, we had I did a podcast with Jeff Grubb and Mooch. He was part of Crossfire. Grubb was part of Crossfire as a guest. And big shout out to Jeff Grubb, by the way. Grubb gave us some insight into his experience and kind of gave us compared this idea of Halo. Actually, it's is it Gene Park with Washington Post? I forget, Slow-mo. Yeah, Gene Park wrote articles compared what he had played to basically the Halo Infinite being if they took the level of silent cartographer from the original Halo and made it its own game. That's basically what Halo Infinite is, and that's kind of what Jeff alluded to. Jeff made the analogy comparing it to Breath of the Wild being what like the original Legend of Zelda would be modern times, and Halo Infinite being what the Halo Combat Evolved would be modern times. So I thought it was kind of interesting, but no, it seems pretty. I mean, it seems good. Like it seems like everyone's had fun playing it, and that's good considering the challenges that the game's had. But I'm interested to see how everything kind of ties together. So I don't put a whole lot of stock into the early impressions, and I'm not going out there saying the King is back. Hopefully it is. Hopefully the King is back. But I'm not going to say this is Game of the Year, or that that this game's going to be just this must-have killer app. Maybe it will be, and if it is, it's awesome. But I'm not running around chanting that just yet. What do you guys think of the impressions you guys read for the media sites and YouTube influencers?
Honestly,
But
I'm looking forward to it. However, I'm very having a huge internal conflict in terms of whether I'm going to play it or not on December 8th. And the reason being is traditionally every Halo I ever played, it was me and my brother playing it in co-op. And the fact that fundamental core feature is not available at launch is a huge problem for me. Like,
well, Doc,
I know
they're developing in a pandemic, man. Come on.
there's all these apologists and people who want to make excuses and all this other stuff, and it's just so difficult to do. We don't have a way to make sure that your character spawns in the right places, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, bro, it's like if games like, I don't know, Far Cry 6 can do it, if games like I don't know, Borderlands 3 can do it. What's
Forget
your
Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2 from back in
Borderlands 3?
2012 could do it.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah.
Best intro song ever in a game.
It smacks of insincerity. What I think actually happened was this. I think that Microsoft sat down and said, look, we, took another year. They didn't take another year because of the Craig thing. They took another year because the game wasn't finished. They blamed it on the Craig thing, right? And I think that when they got down to it, they were like, holy crap, there's so much of this that hasn't been done. Because you have to remember, there was a lot of leadership changes that happened. Anybody who's in business understands that when leadership changes happen in the middle of a project cycle, that means that something drastically bad has happened. It never is a good thing, ever. And so and leadership changes happen like twice, I think, during the whole entire development cycle for Halo Infinite. And part of it, I think, had to do with the fact that they didn't have final hardware specs on the Xbox Series X or the Xbox Series S. They were basically basing everything off of the Xbox, One, kind of architecture. Then all of a sudden they were like, well, we got all these new tools and development kits and all this other stuff. And it was just a mess. It's like, somebody went into the kitchen and got all the ingredients and just threw them against the wall and was trying to cook using those ingredients. I think that's honestly what happened. And so they said, look, we've got to figure out a way to get this game out to launch, because if we don't launch this year, we've already delayed 1 year. If we don't launch this year, people are not going to take Microsoft seriously. So they made the thing. They're like, look, we'll go ahead, because the multiplayer was pretty much done, right? Like that was the only thing that was like rocking and rolling and done. And that's one of the reasons why it was released in November, because they wanted to kind of placate people and like kind of be like, hey, look, this is something where you can kind of chew on this. Campaign's going to come in. It's going to be okay. I think it's going to run, fine as single player. And then 6 months from now, we're supposed to get the co-op. I mean, bro, it's like we've moved on to other things, bigger and better things. You're going to have so much content next year that you're not going to be able to even. I don't think it's going to do anything in terms of increasing player base for Halo Infinite. So it was a mistake. I mean, I'm almost at the point now where I'm like, why even bother? Just focus on the multiplayer, and then leave the single player as is, and maybe make an expansion down the way and really amp up the advertisement for it. That's my take.
All right. Anyone else on the panel? Slimo, Otimus, Forte?
Yeah. I think with this game, I do agree with Doc here that it's an incomplete game, and I fully understand not wanting to play the campaign because co-op isn't there, because co-op has always been there in some shape or form. We know with Halo Combat Evolved, it was all local, right? With Halo 2 and on forward, there was Xbox Live there to actually do online co-op and all that. And then the only time where some form of couch co-op wasn't available was with Guardians. But the game had always had some ability to co-op the game with friends, whether it's in Halo Reach, where you're actually in Guardians, where you're actually the role of different Spartans, or whether you're just a copy, your friends are a copy of the Master Chief. The fact that you could engage in the campaign with multiple friends has always been an option, and now it's not. And that's like, no matter how many times people pull out the statistics of how many people actually engage in that, and then try to take what the statistics were from the worst campaign and then make it seem like that's the way it is for all of those games. No matter how many times people try to use that as a justification for why co-op isn't important, the fact that it is a function that has always been of a Halo campaign, a Halo game, and it's not going to be there, automatically makes it incomplete. Period. Like, people can't come up with other justifications. It's incomplete. And so,
Can I just interrupt you real quick?
What?
So, This is the part that kills me. Jesus, man. So why is it that when we talk about Halo Infinite, the whataboutisms pop up, right? I'm listening to what you're saying, Slomo. Very articulate, by the way. Thank you.
No, thank you.
And I'm seeing Crispy Bomb saying, "Hey, God of War Ragnarok delayed. Horizon Forbidden West delayed. Single player only, by the way. Blamed on the challenges right now. Laughing my ass off. No take all the time. Y'all need sorry." Well, first of all, I'm not following the last part of the sentence here. I don't know what he means by that. But
I don't think Crispy understands what I'm saying. I would be fine with a delay. I'm always fine with delays because a delayed game is always going to be better than what you would have got if it wasn't delayed.
But my point is,
with Horizon Forbidden West being delayed, I was fine with God of War Ragnarok being delayed.
But my point is, those games have nothing to do with this conversation. Exactly.
What does that
have to do with
those
anything?
are different studios with different publishers with different challenges that they have to deal with, and they're completely like irrelevant to what's happening with 343 Industries and Halo Infinite.
And by the way, Ragnarok was delayed because the voice actor for Kratos was involved in a pretty bad accident.
Yeah.
So that's why he couldn't do work on the game. So they actually, instead of getting someone else to come in and do the voice acting, they just waited for him to get better. But I digress.
There's no.
Go ahead.
They got somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they had to wait. I mean,
But that's fine. It's just like if they delayed Halo Infinite again, I would have been fine with that. Because if you look at last year, remember last year, around the time that they showed the game, there were people who were upset we all thought co-op would be there. There were people that were upset with the visuals. And then there were people who were upset that ray tracing wasn't going to be there at launch. Remember that? Ray tracing? Which still won't be there at launch? There were other things that people were upset about, and people said, yo, delay the game. And they delayed the game. But now we see the visuals really wasn't the reason why they delayed it, clearly. Because the visuals are better than what they were when they first showed the game, but not dramatically better. As they were saying, the engine wasn't complete, and there were things that they didn't actually we're going to have available, features of the engine that weren't going to be available at launch. But the end result isn't dramatically better than what you were showing before. But we hear about all these other things that are still being worked on, and it's like, it beggars the question, what exactly were we getting last year? What was going to be that game? I actually feel like, and this is just my theory, but I feel like Joseph Staten completely retooled the campaign.
He may have saved the game.
Yeah, that's the way it seems like it, based off the feedback from the people who have actually played it and said they enjoyed it. They may only play 10 hours, but that's 10 hours more than anyone else has played it. So they're the only ones that have an opinion. The lowest opinion I've seen of it came from Skill Up, where he said it was enjoyable, but he kind of thought that Escarum was kind of like your typical Saturday morning cartoon villain, and he wasn't quite sure about how the full campaign would turn out, but he was impressed with it. And like, if that's the weakest you got, if that's the weakest feedback that you got, it looks pretty good. It seems like the delay was worth it. Now I just kind of wonder why people aren't cool, like have this issue with a further delay of the campaign to make sure everything that people want from it is actually there. Because
oh boy,
we see so many different things that are like, well, that's not going to be there at launch.
So apparently you can't say those things, Slimo, because as Crispy Bomb eloquently put it, co-op is MP, gents. Yes, you BRAP, where TF is multiplayer for PlayStation exclusives nowhere.
I don't see
Well, look, here's the thing.
Co-op is multiplayer, gents.
What?
Yes, you BRAP, where
He's like, where the fuck is multiplayer for PlayStation exclusives nowhere?
What
Like
is
Crispy
that?
Bob. What is that, Crispy Bob? What does that have to do? Crispy Bob, did you just start playing on Xbox? Did you just start gaming yesterday? Like, I mean, do you not know the history of Halo here?
Hold on. Would this be easier
Fundamental
if Crispy just came in? If Crispy just came in?
Yes, Crispy. Why don't you,
Crispy?
Why don't you come in? Why don't you come? We'll have this discussion with you, because we love you to enlighten us with your wisdom on Halo and the historical context of Halo here, and why co-op is important to that game for the things Doc just mentioned earlier. Go ahead, Doc.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like it's a fundamental core component of the game, right? Like Halo was built with co-op in mind from Combat Evolved all the way till today. Obviously, it's important. Otherwise, they wouldn't have cut it out of the game. I mean, they're going to eventually put it back into the game. That's how important it is. Because they could have just said, oh, one and done, we'll just let the campaign be what it is and just move on, if they didn't think it was important. But they obviously think it's important. It's a part of the identity of Halo. The problem is the development cycle was so trashed that that's what they ended up. And, you know, people are going to be like, oh, he's definitely Pegasus Nation. He's a pony. I'm like, bro, I'm absolutely not. I play probably more on my Xbox just because of the multiplayer games, especially Gears, than I do on my PlayStation. So that argument is completely null and void and not applicable. But the bottom line is that game, for a multitude of reasons, some of which we know and a lot of which we don't know, basically got cut up into little pieces, and they just had to scramble to get everything to get put together. And if you look at God of War or you look at Horizon Zero Dawn, those games are all designed from day one, from the ground up, to be single player. Said that these are in any way, shape, or form like, you know, multiplayer games. And narrative wise, if you go back to the history of Xbox, so, you know, Sony took a completely different tack. They were single player focused, and because of the traction that Microsoft was gaining, they decided to come with their answer to that. Now, Nintendo don't even talk about them. Their multiplayer is a joke, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like that's one of the innovations Microsoft brought to the table. If you don't want to give credit where credit is due, then, you know, that's kind of sketch. But like in this particular instance, multiplayer online gaming, that was definitely something that Microsoft hung their hat on, and they did exceptionally well with it. And so for anybody to say that multiplayer was not a key component to Halo, that means they don't know their history.
Well, Crispy Bomb, I think, is going to join us to talk about this more. I just sent him a Discord invite. So, Adamus, I don't know if you could send him an invite too, but we're going to get him in here, and he's going to talk to us about, I don't know.
I don't know why I thought Crispy was already a part of the Discord. I mean, no, he's not. He is. Yeah, Crispy's already in the Discord.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Crispy, just join the show.
Yeah, he's showing
I just, you know, I find it just very counterproductive when people, oh, what about The Last of Us? Like that. Nothing to do with what we're talking.
What about isms don't work? Crispy, he says he's waiting. Crispy, you already have access to the Discord.
I just sent him an invite too on Twitter DM.
I think you have to add him to the show though, because you're locked. The show's locked.
Well, no, he could join the BRAP chat. I could just move in here.
Oh, okay, so he's not on the.
I see his name, but
they were saying you were using whataboutisms with the example you gave of Borderlands 2.
That's not a what. No, that's not a whataboutism. That is an example. That's an example of the same game design already being in use on older hardware.
That was my point.
So that's not a whataboutism. I don't. Yeah. Look, people don't. If you don't understand what a whataboutism is, don't bother. Okay, that's one. Like that's not a whataboutism. Like that's actually showing game design that actually has already been worked on and been used multiple times in this old game design at this point. And yes, it's a little bit different for 343 Industries and Halo Infinite, because the way the maps were designed in previous Halo games, it's even though they have their open areas, it's not fully open like open world or like hub worlds the way Borderlands would have them. So yes, the design is different. Therefore, they need to implement different things. But this kind of goes back to what we've said about how a developer who is doing something new should add people that have had that experience already to kind of ease that transition into things that are new. We see like Respawn Entertainment did it well with Jedi Fallen Order. They went from being a first-person shooter developer to making an action-adventure third-person perspective combat game, and it worked. They did great. But what they did was they actually brought in a lot of people who've worked on those games in the past, so that they weren't completely out of their element. They actually had people who knew what they were doing and just hit the ground running. That's a huge difference than where we're trying to figure out how to make this work. But you like the blueprint's there to do that. Like, that's me saying that is different than someone saying, "Oh, why are people complaining about, well, other games got delayed?" Like, what is that? Doesn't mean anything. Like, what is that? How is that
It's not the same
relevant to the
developer.
conversation?
It's not the same developer, so it doesn't matter. I mean,
It's a
like,
talking
that's just
point.
a coincidence. Yeah.
It's just a talking point that people use to try to minimize, the whatever it is that's going on at 343i, or to,
People want to make excuses for people. I'm like, why? They're grown-ass people at that company. And, the proof is in the pudding, right? I never understood that defend at all costs mentality when it comes to a consumer product. How stupid.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question real quick.
Crispy's here. We're gonna get Crispy in here.
Yeah, I just want to ask real quick though. Do you guys be considered gaming to be a selfish hobby?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Whoa,
Sure.
whoa. What do you mean by selfish? You need to define the term.
Like when it comes to you, do you consider gaming to be do you consider other people's thoughts and stuff when it comes to like your gaming opinion for the stuff that you like to play and the way that you indulge in your hobby when it comes to gaming?
No.
You don't. Okay. So the whole thing for me is, I think some people kind of get it. I think they kind of get it twisted when it comes to like their opinion on something versus trying to like fight a fight against, like, say, oh, everybody wants this to come out, but everybody keeps saying should delay this, especially when you're talking about Halo. I just think people just need to just come out and say, dude, listen, I understand a lot of people's thoughts is saying that I don't want them to have delayed the game because I want to play the game. That was the same thing that we were talking about when Phil Spencer and they were talking about, splitting the game in the first place. Everybody was like, no, don't split the game. Don't split the game. Halo has always been a full package and all this other stuff. But guess what? The moment they split the game, all that went out the window, because guess what? Everybody's selfish hobby side of them popped out. It was like, I just want to play freaking Halo. And I think if people just come out and just say, like, I don't care about the rest of y'all. I only care about me and my opinion on what I want in the game. And I think we would go a lot further with this conversation, because everybody tries to hide in these innuendos of the fact that, oh, well, other people want to play it and this and that. No, don't talk about other people. Talk about you. Because most people don't care. And if they do care, they're not on Twitter talking about it. That's the difference. So people just need to just live with the fact that you're being selfish, and there's nothing wrong with that. You can be selfish in a hobby that you enjoy, and let that be the narrative that you go off of. But don't try to make it seem like everybody else needs to have the same thoughts that you have, because everybody thinks differently. And I think the moment people stop shoving their narrative down other people's throats, we'll get somewhere when it comes to this conversation. But you said Crispy's in here, so let Crispy take it over.
Well, hey, real quick before you do that, I think the biggest problem is this. Like, we're dealing with the concept of instant gratification versus delayed gratification. And
Exactly.
and this is a generational thing, right? You look at the OG gamers, every single OG gamer is willing to wait. Anybody who's a non-OG gamer, the generation that came after, they want that instant gratification, right? And it has to do with the fact that the way software was delivered back when we were coming up with all this, when you were waiting for that NES game to come, it came when it came. You had no control. You had nowhere to go and moan and bitch about it or any of that kind of stuff. So that built in you a certain level of patience. The game will come when it comes. Very Jedi mindset, right? What's happened now is all the modern gamers are like little Sith running around, just like, I gotta get this shit.
Come here, young
right
Skywalker.
Like, oh, you gotta verify me. I got this thing, and I'm like, bro, relax, take a deep breath, and don't do it. Oh, sorry, but anyway, it's like one of those things where if you look at the OG gamers all have huge backlogs of games, right? Because financially they're now at a place where they can buy the stuff they want to play. The problem is they don't have the time to play it, right? So from our standpoint, it's like, well, I'm just going to work through my backlog until that game comes out, right? A lot of people are way more patient about that kind of stuff because there was a time when it's like you would get like maybe 4 or 5 games in a year and you were like ecstatic about it. Now it's like 4 or 5 games a month and people are like, how come I don't have this game already? And I'm like, bro, it's like, just slow it down just a little bit. You don't have to be so instantaneously gratified.
Yes.
You know what? So anyway, that was the point. Now go ahead, Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme donut? What? I can go for one of those all the time, man.
I know.
What's
right?
up, gentlemen?
What's up, Crispy? What do you got for us, man?
Well, I mean, why are we talking about Halo like it shouldn't be multiplayer first anyway? I mean,
nobody said that.
Really, the foundation. Why is like it a big deal that they went multiplayer first? I don't understand it.
About that, we're talking about the co-op.
That's still multiplayer, bro. Is it not?
It's not.
No.
Player, no. Look,
the foundation of Halo was always
player versus player, player versus environment. Is it a PvE or PvP? Because I don't care. I mean, they're both quote unquote multiplayer, but they're totally different gameplay experiences.
Really? So I mean, let's be honest
PvE
here.
Is completely different.
Well,
PvE is definitely different than PvP.
So what is Microsoft trying to do right now? What are they trying to do? They're trying to attract gamers that don't usually go to those big names. Like they look at Halo and they're like, it's all about multiplayer. But now you have a truly, at least for a period of time, a truly full-on single-player experience that they're going to come out with on December 8th. And you're going to be like, oh shit. They planned this shit, dude. And I've said this when they announced it. They planned this shit, dude. They planned this shit to the T. Dude, you watch people that never, like, I watched Mag the other night. Mag's like, and Mag is a single player gamer. And that dude's like, dude, I love this multiplayer. What do you think he's going to do when December 8th happens? You know what I mean? He's going to play that campaign.
So you're saying they planned to not have the co-op available?
Exactly, dude. They planned that because they want you to feel like Chief. And the only way you can feel like Chief is if you are Chief and there's nobody else to interact with. And yeah, there are co-op gamers. I get it. I totally get it. You hate it. You freaking hate that shit. And I've only beaten most Gears with other people there. I totally understand it. But it just seems like a plan to say, hey, we can do this. And this is only the start. You know what I mean?
Well, Crispy, this is why I disagree with that. Because it's like, it's not a choice. Like, even with the co-op there, and it's always a choice to choose to do it or not. If you want to play the game single player only, you can do that. Like, it's not forced. It's not like, say, Destiny, for example, where you do a strike and they're going to force 2 other Guardians with you to play that strike. This is you have the option to have people there with you or not. So it's not like I don't see how they would say, well, we really want people to play this solo, so we're going to intentionally hold off on completed co-op until
slow-mo. I totally understand what you're saying, but my point is, okay, because I grew up when PlayStation was right there with Xbox at periods of time. Okay? And this is why I brought this up. It's we judge Xbox because they come out with an exclusive, because it's always had multiplayer, that there's a problem. Like, there's a problem because it's multiplayer first, single player first, doesn't have co-op, whatever. We always judge all these things. But the way I look at it is I played SOCOM 2, and that had both right off rip. And it was an amazing game, in my opinion. Not everybody's opinion, but my opinion. Okay? And I look at those games that they came out with then, and I said they were going for multiplayer just as strong as they were going for single player. And I understand, I get it. Like, if some of you guys on this panel, you love your single player. That's all you love. You know what I mean? Like, that is the most important thing. I think Xbox is trying to strategically place you as only Master Chief and try to get some people that may not have thought about it the way they normally, like, it's a Halo. Like, that's the first thing. Most people, they hear Halo, they say multiplayer right off rip. I'm telling you, you hear Gears, multiplayer. You know what I mean? Like, Forza's been multiplayer. You know what I mean? So for them to take their most, honorable and most important franchise and say, hey, you can only play single player for this period of time, and then we'll open it up to playing co-op multiplayer. I get it. Like some people don't look at co-op as multiplayer, but I couldn't play co-op for a long time, bro. I was playing single player, and then I would play multiplayer on titles like SOCOM, Killzone, Gears. Like there's a period of time where I didn't have internet and I could play single player, and then I could play multiplayer. And I think there is a value to that. And I think they're trying to actually take a step back, which is a little strange. And I understand that you could disagree with me. I get it. But I'm looking for both companies to be held at the same, realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, they're different games. I understand that. But I'm still, I want to buy a PlayStation. You guys have to understand this. I do. But I just don't. I don't, how can I have Gears 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there? I didn't play the campaigns more than twice on any of them. Dude, it was all multiplayer. My gamer score sucks, dude, because I have, an entire year in Gears games, okay? I love that game. But I also love The Division. I also love Fallout. I mean, I was surprised Fallout wasn't there. I love my certain games, and it's but it's either multiplayer or it has a vast, crazy amount of single player. You know what I mean? Like RPG status. And that's what Xbox gives me. So, I mean, I get it. Like, people look at me like, Xbox, Crispy's a fanboy, whatever. Like, dude, I love what Xbox is doing right now, but I also get your guys' points. I just, you got to see it out the other side as well.
I think I see what you're saying, Crispy. But let me give you an example of me as a long-term Halo fan.
Can I just chime in real quick? Because I want to address this strategy Microsoft's taking to try to get you to be Master Chief by yourself.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to address real quick.
I would agree with that had they forced co-op PvE in the game, which they've never done. They've given you the option to do co-op PvE, and so you could always be Master Chief by yourself. That was never off the table. And that's why, from a historical perspective, Halo was synonymous with couch co-op or online PvE co-op. And the fact of the matter is, it's missing because 343i, one, didn't want to develop for the lowest common denominator of the Xbox One. So they've had some development challenges to being able to implement co-op on, basically, two different generations now, 3 different platforms essentially, with the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X, and the Xbox One. So, I would agree with that notion that they're trying to do something different. Had they originally forced you to play co-op, which they've never done in any of the Halo campaigns. It's always been an option. But the reason why it's synonymous with Halo is because it's one of the first games, one of the first FPS games to actually implement the level of storytelling and allow you to experience that in a co-op way, on the co-op level or a co-op way that most games hadn't done at that time, 24 or 20 years ago. So go ahead, Slow-Mo.
What I just want to say real quick, and that as I've been playing Halo since the very beginning, and I've always played it with, like, I think Combat Evolved, the only one I played off the break by myself. I think I played with one of my buddies all the time. Me and him with Halo as well as Gears always ran through the campaigns multiple times together, and I see now where that's not possible until co-op is ready. Like, that's disappointing. It's when it's something that has always been a staple of a franchise, of an IP, and then it's not there. Like, to me, that's almost akin to, it would be even worse for Gears, considering that Gears has always had it where your co-op characters were actually different people and a part of the narrative and story, where that's only happened sometimes in Halo. But imagine if Gears 6 comes out and you're just Kate. And there's no option for anyone
I totally
else.
like that's where I like, like Gears 5, like, a lot of people give it shit, but that campaign, once it was cleaned up for the co-op part, was pretty incredible, because you played as, like, you could play as JD, you could play as Dell, like, you were, and you were caught in the story no matter which way you went. You know what I'm saying? And they really did some wild shit. Like, I don't agree with it. I actually thought, like, like Gears 3 and Gears 4 campaign were better, but that's because I felt more like I felt like the singular individual. There was like It Takes Two vibes at times with Gears 5. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't do something without somebody else doing it. You know what I mean? And I didn't feel that in some of the other games. So then you go and look at this right now, and it's like Halo's always had some kind of co-op in there, and it's like everybody's complaining that there's no single player experiences on Xbox. You know what I'm saying? So why not say, you know what? And you might be right, Slow-Mo. It's not quite ready. You know what I mean? Not quite ready to bring the same energy as it is going to be by itself. But why not let people experience it? Because at the end of the day, everybody, including myself, said the visuals don't look quite right. You know what I mean? And now they look much better. I played the beta. It looks pretty damn good for a beta. I mean, probably the best beta I've ever played, which says something about betas. And I've been like, whoa, what the fuck is this? A lot of times. So, I look at it and I say, they have potential, but that co-op needs to come out at the beginning of next year, or people are going to be pissed. And I understand that. I mean, they're already pissed, but you need to have that co-op come out next year, like January or February.
I'm on the record, even before they announced the delay of season 2, because they initially said season 2 would be out 3 months after the launch of the game. There's an actual quote out there from Staten himself saying that, and then they delayed it to May. Even before all of that came out, I was on the record that the co-op wasn't going to come out when they said it would. That it would get delayed. I'm still of that mind, even though they have kind of like put out quotes that have may say, well, it might come out sooner than the season 2. That is kind of separate from whatever reason they won't launch season 2 when they expected to launch season 2 on the multiplayer side of things. But I still feel like it's not coming out when they did. I also felt the same way about Forge, which also has been announced that isn't going to come in the summer of next year like we thought. And it's just like, when things aren't there at launch and then they continue to get delayed, like, I don't like seeing that, because to me it reminds me of so many other games where developers make concessions.
Here's one thought I just want to put out to you guys real quick, okay? The way I look at this game at this point, it's a 10-year cycle. Like, they plan on getting people back into this game constantly to 10 years. And don't get me wrong, in the background, they might be making the next Halo or doing whatever they want them to do. But at the end of the day, they're looking at this game because it's free to play now. You know what I mean? At least the multiplayer is free to play. They want you, hey, buy into the campaign. I mean, if the campaign, they're trying to make the campaign real good so people buy into that shit. They ain't stupid. I'm telling you. So, you know, either way, you buy into either, you know, the season passes, whatever the hell it is. And you do those things. They're making revenue. That's what the way they're looking at it. They're a business at the end of the day, and they understand that. And they see the hype and they see how, you know, I'm not saying that anybody on this panel doesn't like Battlefield or Call of Duty right now, but there's a lot of people that are not happy with it. And these are hardcore of that, you know, particular game, just playing it, and they're not happy with it. And I've been there myself with Gears Judgment. You know what I'm saying? And I've been like, yo, I'm going back to Gears 3. Goodbye. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where it's like they see, like, you know, like they're kind of treading water, and Microsoft's like, yo, we got this. We're good. So I'm interested how they approach this, because I think they're going to try to prolong it as long as possible.
Well, that's a big problem though, because if it turns out like what Destiny turned out to be, that means the campaign's never going to be really finished. Because you look at the Destiny campaign, it was just like, oh, okay, well, I gotta play the raid, or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that to get the full experience.
Destiny's an
And
MMO,
that's
bro.
a big problem. I understand that though, dude, but that's a concerning thing, because it's like, okay, it's a 10-year cycle.
Bungie refuses to acknowledge it's an MMO and hates that people would call it that.
Right? Yeah, but they acknowledge that, like, they don't like that. But with Halo, it's like, I want a complete story. I hope that's what
Halo's
we're gonna get.
Halo's gonna separate the two in some way, shape, or form. Like, the free to play part of it is, I think, what's going to change
But
that.
do you understand where I'm coming from though? Like
no, I get what you're saying.
It's a little weird that they would say like 10 years. Does that mean like the campaign's finished then, or does that mean like, or are we gonna get like add-ons to the campaign?
But, I mean, I think personally, like, I mean, I don't know how many times I've gotten DLC campaign for games. I mean, they can do that. I mean, like, they can extend the story in their own way. You know what I'm saying?
I just want a complete story when this game comes out. I want at least a complete story, and then they can add on with other content.
So here's
that's what happens every time they say they're. Anytime a developer or a publisher says this is a 10-year game, every single time that's happened, there's always been a plan to give you a foundational base story with the open-ended like subplots and things that will advance on in further expansions, typically on an annual basis. But we don't know if that's what 343 is going to do. But Bungie said that with Destiny, 10-year plan. BioWare said that with Anthem, 10-year plan. Did not work out that way. But anytime that has been stated, I actually even remember.
Didn't they do that with
Anthem? Enix said that about the Avengers.
And Anthem.
It's true.
I mentioned Anthem.
Did they say that about the Division?
No,
I don't know. They did not.
Oh, they never did.
But I think I think some of the concern from some Halo fans in terms of the narrative aspect of this game is that the difference between some of the games that Slobo mentioned was that those games never started off as narrative focused single player campaigns with a multiplayer to complement it. They're basically trying to take a design and shoehorn it into a franchise that has never behaved or resembled anything like an Anthem or Destiny. So the onus is on them to figure out, and hopefully they do for the sake of this franchise, because it would be a damn shame if 343 somehow fumbled the ball with this quote-unquote 10-year plan. I hope that's not the case, because I want to see Halo continue on. I want to see a compelling story. I want to see compelling content. What I don't want it to end up being is something that resembles a Destiny, because that's not what Halo is, at least for me. Maybe some people are okay with that, and maybe Microsoft's okay with that. Maybe I'm no longer the target demographic anymore. They want to get those people that are on the Fortnites or the CODs or the Destinies or the Warframes. They want to get them over to Halo. But to me, I mean, that's not what I want to see. I want to see a compelling story with great characters, great character development, great character dialogue, great gameplay mechanics, great story. You know, I mean, and at some point, look, I mean, like they gotta give us a little more detail in terms of what that 10-year plan is. Like, we just can't say, oh, well, it's 10 years. That means more content. So that's great.
Right.
Well, what does that mean?
And typically with the games that say we have a 10-year plan, or this is going to be a game that will span 10 years, or IP that would do that, is usually they give you a roadmap of like, this is what's going to be available at launch. And they'll name the expansions or what they're going to do. I remember Anthem had the Cataclysm, which never really, I think they did eventually come out, but it was nowhere near what their roadmap said it was going to be. With Destiny, they had the Forte. Remember all these names. Forte's gone. Never mind. But it's like they had little expansions, 2 little expansions, and 1 big expansion. And then they would have 2 little expansions, then 1 big expansion. In Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, it was basically just 1 big annual expansion with seasons. Every seasons with a little bit of story content here and there, to kind of keep people engaged until the big expansion shows up. But like, in order to do that, Bungie had to have 2 support studios doing those other expansions while they worked on the big one. And that's a lot of people. Bungie's already a studio that at that time there was 800 developers, and they still couldn't handle that much content and doing an annual release and doing all this other extra stuff. So like 343 is close to that size, but they're going to need to have a lot of help in order to kind of keep up that cadence of content. And they haven't never said anything about a roadmap in particular to the campaign related stuff. We see that they've got somewhat semblance of a roadmap with the seasons and for multiplayer, which is great, and I love that. But on the campaign side of things, if you're going to say this is going to be a 10-year game, it's Halo Infinite, it's like almost insinuating that we're not going to get like another Halo, full-blown Halo release for a long time, then I kind of want to see what the roadmap looks like. Like, you got to communicate that with us. And also, if you're going to communicate that with us, you need to stick to what you're saying, because in the past 2 years, 343 has said a lot of things that they've gone back on. And so when you do that one time, people go, oh, okay, all right, well, you know, things happen. Something came up. They couldn't live up to what they said they were going to do. But then when there's multiple things, then people just start like, there comes a point in time where people just stop believing what you're saying. Oh, and that's how I feel about the co-op. It's going to be out in 3 months. I don't believe you.
The other thing too,
based upon your recent history, I can't believe
it already got delayed till May, didn't it? Or June or something like that?
Well, they said it was coming out with the first season, with the second season.
They're going to prolong that as long as they can, dude, because that's going to be a part of it. It's going to prolong it to another 6 months or something. Like, that's the way they look at it. Like, it's.
I think
they're looking at metrics, dude.
I think that the point you're making right there is just extraordinarily complicated form of capping. I mean, I don't think that it's by design. If it had been by design, I don't think. I mean, because the way they rolled it out, they got everybody.
They've already delayed it for a year. They say, "Fuck it, dude." Like, come on. Like, has anybody else said, "Fuck it"? Like, let's just let's.
I don't know, man. It's like your flagship. This is your flagship friggin' title, and it's been years in the making, right? And you got a brand new shiny console that is supposed to showcase this brand new shiny software, and they're just screwing the pooch.
Yeah, but you got to look at it. They're not in their eyes. I mean, they look at the they're probably like, "Holy shit, we're like, you know,
Crispy, what metrics are they looking at?
That game.
What metrics are they looking at?
Whatever metrics we can't see, bro.
So that's but if you're gonna say metrics though, you got to like provide some like Like, is it engagement? Is it, console sales? Like, we just can't say, oh, they're looking at metrics. Oh, it's whatever metrics they want. I mean, like, what does that mean?
I mean, think about it. It's number 3 on Steam right now. What is it? Number 2 now? I mean, come on.
What does that have to do with like delaying of the co-op and everything else though? Like the Steam metrics are related to the multiplayer.
They delayed the co-op.
People are buying.
They released the multiplayer.
I mean, the multiplayer is free. I mean, obviously those metrics are important. But
the season, dude, nobody. We ain't gonna be able to see those numbers, dude. Like, we're not. You know that. So, come on.
No, actually, they will give us numbers if they're successful. I mean, all companies will do that. They'll do it because it's great PR. It's great for the shareholders. So they will give us metrics. If this thing skyrockets, if Halo Infinite multiplayer skyrockets, right?
Okay. Forza, for example, 10 million players. What does that mean?
It means 10 million players.
10 million players. So if Halo has 10, doesn't mean anything for the wallet as far as we're concerned. All I know is I can play it on Game Pass. That's all I care about. And I'll tell you something right now. All they care about is how much money they're making on the back end that we don't get to see, bro. Like, maybe we'll see it.
But what does that have to do with the delay of co-op and everything else we're talking about, though?
Because they're trying to stretch it out as long as possible.
No, they're not.
Wait, hold on, wait. What?
They want to make the campaign.
But wait, Crispy, aren't they stretching it out anyway with a 10-year plan?
So hypothetically, right now, if you are an only co-op gamer right now, okay, you're only that's all you want to play is co-op Halo, and then you have some people like myself who just want to play as Chief. And that's it. I don't want to have anybody that's just going to one-up me or anything. I just want to play as Chief. I ain't that good at Halo. I want to learn it myself. Okay? You have those people. But then as time goes on,
you can still somebody
play somebody like me, you have to understand. Somebody like me is going to enjoy what I do by myself more than somebody that wants co-op, and that's in their head. And then when co-op actually comes 6 to 8 months later, guess what? They're going to jump in with their friend that's been by themselves playing Halo multiple times, some of them, and they're going to be like, holy shit, this is great because now you're on my level. These are things that we don't think about.
So what do you mean my level? Are you saying that they're going to have some kind of level tier in campaign where someone's going to come in?
The experience level, it's like somebody who's new to Halo play the single-player campaign for 6 months, waiting for you to play co-op, and then all of a sudden you're on the same level in terms of your technical ability playing the game. I think that's absolute horse shit.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you learn the game yourself. Okay?
I was different than what I said.
I'm sorry, Crispy. Crispy, I'm sorry, bro. You're not making any sense, man. I'm sorry, man.
Here's my problem right now.
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying.
Everybody, y'all acting like everybody's played Halo. That's the worst part.
Okay, wait. Wait. Time out. I never said that everyone's played Halo. I never said that.
No, that's the way you're talking right now. Like,
what I'm saying. Okay, look, I'll throw you a bone. I would agree. There might be some people that will say, you know what, I'm going to go back and play Halo because I can play co-op now, campaign, right? There's also going to be some other people that are going to say, you know what, been there, done that, I'm done, right?
Okay,
I don't need to go back
and then
to
you
it.
have the multiplayer too.
But the longevity piece is really the multiplayer piece too, right? So I mean, like, you're going to have some people that are going to go back and play this, maybe go co-op. But the point of the overarching point here that we've been talking about is that the co-op piece missing, Forge missing, the development troubles that this game have, like this game is not releasing as a complete Halo game. It doesn't mean the game's going to suck. It just means that it's releasing incomplete. Now, I don't think that they're looking at this saying, "Oh, we're going to purposely delay co-op," and I don't know if that's what you're trying to say, but I don't think.
Okay. I gotta. I'm sorry, BRAP. I gotta stop you real quick, and I have to because how long has Fortnite been out?
7 years, 8 years.
Couple years, yeah.
Okay. It is a fully multiplayer game. I'm telling you, they're just trying to use both as extend them in their own way. The multiplayer is going to have their seasons, okay? And it's free to play. That is what that's going to be the bread and butter.
But co-op isn't free to play though. You have to pay for that.
That's the point. That's what they're trying to do. They don't care.
So you're saying that Microsoft is purposely delaying co-op so they can get more sales on the back end?
You know, you could put this as capping. I'm not capping. I'm just saying, like, as a multi-trillion-dollar company at this point, they're looking at it saying, hey, we can make money out the back end. And you know what? We can make the game look even better with the 2 people there. Or 3 or 4, whatever it is.
So why are they doing?
You could say 2.
So
or
Crispy,
why
4? So Crispy, why are they doing this now? And they didn't do this with other previous Halos.
Why did they? Because it works. I don't know how. I got no fucking clue how. I don't think any of us do. But it works.
Well, we're not the one making the claims here that they're doing this for, trying to make money on the back end.
No. You asked me a question. I answered it. Why are they doing free to play now?
Well, we know why they're doing free to play now because they want to compete on the PC landscape.
No. Dude, it's the same damn thing.
No, it's not.
Come on.
They've actually talked about this before.
The whole entire free to play thing. Look, it's exactly the same thing that all of the competitive online multiplayer games are doing, right? You look at Apex Legends, you look at Fortnite, right? These are all designed. The way that they are monetizing that game, they don't care about the game because they know that you're going to buy skins. That's how they're making the money for the most part. And that business model, I don't think, is eternally sustainable. Because it's now gotten past the point of, so Fortnite.
So you're telling me GTA 5 is just a completely, totally irrelevant fucking online multiplayer? No. Dude, come on, man. Dude, it's what? It's been, 15 years? I mean, Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, it's like that, they have all these different, but they add content. They've been adding content. And I think that there will be content added to the single player. I'm not saying that there won't be. I don't think anybody's saying that there won't be. If this is supposed to be a 10-year life cycle, that means it's going to be something like, Destiny in terms of content that comes out, every, 6 to 18 months. And it's going to be like one of those deals where you're going to be able to get.
Can I just sum this up real quick?
You make me want to not play it now.
But it's a game as a service in the worst form. I mean,
the multiplayer is going to be exactly what you. A single player, they're going to look at it and say, how many people are going to buy in, even though they talk shit and say, I'm not doing it or whatever. If they love Halo, how many people are going to buy in when the co-op becomes available? And that's what they look at, and they go and say, we're making money on the back end because we have the multiplayer. It's free to play. They buy the cosmetics, buy whatever. It's a business, people.
Yeah, but
they don't care about us.
But the multiplayer,
if you look at 2022 in terms of the launch, I mean, the lineup of titles that are coming out across all systems. That's probably the weakest thing that Microsoft can do because it's not going to pull people back over into Halo campaign. You're not going to have this influx of people as soon as the co-op becomes available.
Dude, everybody said that about Gears.
I'm making the prediction now.
I mean, come on, man.
Look at the numbers of engaged players on Halo co-op when the numbers are released because you will be able to track that. And it's not going to all of a sudden have this massive spike in people playing Halo because co-op is there now. What's going to happen is it's going to.
I disagree. We can agree to disagree. I'll say that.
Well, you know what? We'll know in 6 months, won't we?
We will.
I don't know. I don't look, and I know that that this co-op thing has to do more with the fact that they've had some development issues trying to implement co-op across multiple generations. That's really what it boils down to. It's not this elaborate business plan, Microsoft to try to make more money. I mean, that's what's happened internally on the development side. 343i did not want to develop Halo Infinite for the Xbox One. They just didn't. And this game's got to run on the Xbox One. And when you factor in things like co-op,
it doesn't.
online
It
co-op,
has to run off the cloud, BRAP. Come on, man.
but it's still.
Perhaps, have you heard of? You guys have all heard of the concept of Occam's razor, right?
Yes.
Where the simplest explanation is the explanation.
Yes.
The simpler explanation is they didn't get this game developed the way they wanted to, and they're playing catch up. This complex, elaborate, oh my God, we're doing some kind of cool business thing. It's complete, total, and utter bullshit. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to call you out on that. Like, Crispy, I'm sorry. It's like it's not personal, but I think your take is absolute trash.
I get it. And then when I'm right, you better take the L.
I'll take the L if I'm wrong, 100%.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, Doc will take the L. I mean, I'll say that.
I don't have
but no, like, a lot of this, guys, is like what Doc said. It's development trouble. Like, and I know you brought up the cloud stuff and everything. You know, look, there's still development challenges, right? Like, it's not. That's been well documented. Look at the project managers that have left. They've gone through like 4 different project developers or project managers in this. They brought back Joseph Staten. You know, they've had people leave. We know about the coding issues that were prominent in this game with the amount of contractors that were leaving, and the contractors were talking about how they would walk into a situation and there wasn't anybody kind of bring them up to speed in terms of what project they were working on. So this game has been plagued by projects, and this is just an example of that. I don't think there's some elaborate business plan for Microsoft to somehow bring people back into buying the campaign. And I'm not saying that there won't be people that will go back and play co-op. I'm sure there will, because you're going to have those diehards that are going to want to go out and play co-op because that's how they want to play Halo. It's absolutely going to happen, you know. But I don't think there's this elaborate business plan for Microsoft and this aha moment. Like, you know, like if you're going to do so, if you're going to, we see this with other titles. If you're really going to capitalize on a game, it's typically going to be during that launch window where the game has the most buzz, and that's going to be December 8th. You see the game right now; it's generating a lot of buzz, and rightfully so. The multiplayer, from a gameplay mechanics standpoint, is phenomenal. It plays well. The shooting mechanics, everything about that is perfect. Probably the best since Halo 2. Although they do have some deficiencies with the battle pass. You know, the progression, that is bad. Like, that is really bad. And if you're in that, here's the thing: if you're in that free to play space, you have to get that right.
Yeah,
people will leave.
No, I've tried to play Fortnite, dude, and I've gotten multiple kills, and I get nothing, 0.
Well,
you have to buy in, like that. That's the crazy thing.
Look,
like,
I can't
no
speak to.
They're making money.
I can't speak to Fortnite. And I'm not going to even I'm not going to compare Halo Infinite being maybe the next Fortnite, but I will say I've played Warzone, and look, I mean, you get XP. You play a match, you get XP. You could do the the mission, the objectives to get additional XP. Like, why? Like, the concern for me is like it's. There's examples of how to do it right that are out there, and they just went completely a different way. And
no, they're going to correct it. They're going to correct it because we ain't going to shut the fuck up about it.
Well, they need they need to correct it. I mean, because it's if they don't, this thing's going to lose legs because people are going to go elsewhere.
Dude, they went the Tour of Duty system in Gears 5. What the fuck are you doing? I said this. Why did you do that? Progression system. You gotta do this and this in this match. You gotta jump so many times. Like, all this fucking retarded shit. And I'm like, dude, why are you doing this? Gears just did this a couple years ago. Why are we doing this again? I was absolutely.
It's a great question.
Progression system is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. No. Gears 5. Gears 5 is the Tour of Duty system. That shit is ridiculous. Gears 4 was the loot boxes, which I had less problem with because I actually got stuff. I actually earned coin and everything. We had to scream as a Gears community at the top of our lungs to say, dude, You can't do this. Like this tour of duty, like I can't just play King of the Hill all night like I want to. Like I don't gain anything from it. And that's where I am right with the Halo community. Like, dude, you can't do this. You have to fix it. No matter what way, shape, or form.
They need to. Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like gentlemen, it's 11:15 and Thanksgiving's tomorrow. And so I got to do some prep work in the kitchen. But yeah, no, I want to thank
biscuits.
Yeah, I got to butter them biscuits. I want to thank everyone in the live chat for coming out and hanging out with us, and thank Crispy Bomb. I won't call you Crispy Creep because I don't know, man. We'll thank Crispy Bomb for jumping in at the last minute to come and chat with us, hang out with us. Appreciate you coming on board, Crispy Bomb. And want to give a big shout out to Gaming Forte and Slow-Mo Backslap. Slow-Mo had to leave. And also want to give a big shout out to Gamer MD, Dark Optimus. And actually, you know, I should mention, Crispy, if you want to let people know where they can find you, let them know where they can find you on the Twitters, YouTube, etc.
Chris Baum on Twitter, Chris Baum 20 Xbox Live, and no shows this week, and I'll see you next week.
Awesome. And then Dark Optimus. Are you there, Dark?
Yeah, you guys can find me. Yeah, yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter, Dark Optimus. You can also find me on Xbox and PlayStation at the same name. And as always, you guys can find me on the next podcast at 5 p.m. Eastern, or no, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Man, I don't even know what time your own show goes on, man.
I know. Sometimes it's because I get.
Come on,
it's because bots all like.
It's the next podcast, like, 8 p.m. prime time.
Yeah. It's because he always says, "Oh, 8 p.m. is prime time. It's the best time," and I'm like, "Dude, shut up."
I'd say a big shout out to Xbot, who was in the live chat earlier. Xbot and I got a chance to run some Halo last weekend with you, Optimus, and before you hopped in, man, we were doing all right, man. We were getting some W's, man. But
what are you saying about Dark after that?
No. I'm saying we got some W's with Dark.
They were playing Big Team Battle, and I'm not a Big Team Battle guy. I'm more.
Well, we're playing Big Team Battle because it's like me, you, and
I
don't
just
like want to shoot y'all in the face.
Yeah, I just want to shoot people in the fucking face, dude. I don't give a fuck about fucking doing objectives and all that bullshit. Fuck that.
Oh my god, yeah, that's Optimus, yeah.
Wow.
And then we got my man Gamer MD Doc. Doc, man, Doc, always a pleasure having you on, man. I want to say thank you again for explaining the squirting situation earlier. I really appreciate that insight, man.
Absolutely, anytime, BRAP. I love being on your show, and obviously in the spaces and stuff, and we got some things that are cooking up over in the background. We got some projects that are coming up that you're I talked to you about, and Strictly and all that kind of stuff. So sometime soon we're gonna get that information out so that you can put it on your show, and it'll be on the Twitter Spaces and everything else. And I think that's going to be something that helping a friend in the community is going to be important.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I just want to I just want to give a big shout out to Optimus Co, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Going through,
prayers.
Yeah, prayers. Yeah, he's going through a hard time right now, and wish him all the best. I mean, and my man's got fighting him. I know that. I heard that.
Oh yeah,
I heard it. Yeah, and
and I mean, he knows that he's got our support. Like, I think the gaming community, I hate it when a reality check like this happens, but I do like it when it brings out the best of the community to kind of be like, you know what, we're going to kind of put our petty differences aside and focus on the human being that's on the other end of that Twitter screen, and kind of be like, look, it's like this is a person who's entertaining and as a contributor and as a good person, and as a human being we want you to heal up and do well.
It's only games, people. I mean, seriously, like it ain't
right, exactly.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's a great point, Crispy. I mean, it really is only games, and I think unfortunately these things happen, and it's kind of like a reality check, right? I just wanted to, mention Code, and just big shout out to him, and you're just wishing him all the best. So, Doc, man, you and I need to chat again, because I feel like, man, we were supposed to do something like about the vaccine stuff, and it never happened. So I still want that to happen, by the way.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I know that you're a busy guy and you got a lot of different things kind of cooking at the same time. I'm 100% for it. I mean, I'm triple vaxxed, but then again, I'm balls deep in it, so it kind of makes sense. And they're about to mandate the vaccines for all the doctors and nurses and everything else. So you're about to see all the anti-science doctors and anti-science nurses like walk out. Now the difference is it's about 50% of the nurses and about 4% of the doctors. So that should, yeah. I mean, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of nuts.
Oh man. Well, Doc, I know you're in the thick of things, man. You see things that many of us don't see. That really puts this thing in perspective, man.
Thing on like, oh well, kids don't get it. I'm like, bro, I just sent a 5-year-old to our local children's hospital who had COVID pneumonia. And if that doesn't put shit in perspective for you, then you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's interesting. I had that conversation with my parents. They're like, hey, come over Thanksgiving. I'm like, yeah, there's some kids there. Not kids. They're my cousins are in their 20s. They're not vaccinated. I'm like, no, I'm not bringing my kids here. My mom's like, yeah, they'll if your kids get it, they'll probably be fine. I'm like, yeah, I get it. Statistically speaking, they probably will until your kids,
aren't fine.
Yeah.
They are the unlucky statistic. So it's okay until it happens to you, is my point.
Exactly.
Right, yeah. That's bullshit, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Because it is, when you see the fear in a mom's face or a father's face, and they're literally like, fix him. And I'm like, bro, it's like, we've done everything we can do. The rest of it is up to God, right? Like, I mean, it's literally, there is a primal fear that you will see in a parent's face when their kid is grievously injured or grievously ill, that will put everything else in your life into perspective. There is nothing that comes even close to that. And it will definitely make you pause, and it will definitely check your faith, and you will sit there and you'll be like, I've done everything I could possibly do in this scenario, and they didn't respond, or they didn't, whatever. And I mean, that there is nothing on this planet that is that harrowing.
Wow. Yeah, and Doc, that's why I enjoy speaking with you, because you, especially as it relates to this pandemic, you have a perspective that many of us don't have. And I think that some of us, we just, no fault of our own, we're kind of insulated. We don't see what you see, right?
Of course, yeah.
So
and I mean, that's
not really our reality per se, but it is reality,
Right. Because you're not in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? It's like you guys are, hopefully, God willing, safely tucked away in your homes and your lives and just kind of doing your own thing. And then it's like, it's sort of like, I'll put it to you this way. I've probably heard more authentic prayers in the four walls of a hospital than I have in any church I've been to.
Probably damn right about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's a whole nother conversation about church, by the way. I don't know if you'd want to have that conversation, Doc, but I'm open to have that one too.
For sure. Well, you know what? It's sort of like, right? Like, there's a difference between spirituality and religiosity, right? Like, there's people who want to practice a religion down to the T, but they have no concept of what the actual message is. And then there's the actual, relationship with the universe or God or whatever you want to call it, but that relationship with something bigger than you. And it's a perspective thing. And you don't have to be a religious person to become spiritual, and you sure as hell don't have to be spiritual to be religious.
That's a great point, man. That's a Doc. All right, we're gonna have to figure something.
Are you my spirit animal, Dark? Dark. Like, I swear to God, Dark as well. Like, dude. Wow. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't believe in any religion, but I believe there's a higher power. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
For
very
sure.
Simple.
Yeah, I mean, it's an agnostic viewpoint, meaning that you don't ascribe to a specific religious faith, but you recognize the fact that the universe is a really big place.
Yeah, I've seen too much shit to not believe that there's something out there.
I've had my life saved too many times to not say there is a God. Yeah, I'll call it God, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, God is just it's a description that we, have created to be able to encapsulate that feeling and understanding, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, because if you try to think about this, right, if God or the universe or whatever is infinite and we have a finite mind, well, no matter how big your thimble is, you can't fit the ocean in it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also believe in quantum immortality. That's a different conversation. All right. What a big shout out to everyone again in the live chat. Crispy, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you joining us.
First time, by the way.
Yeah, first time. First time. That's right.
First time.
And big shout out to Onimus, Gamer MD, and Slemo Backslap, Gaming Forte. Big shout out to Eric Jackson, B Money, 101 who couldn't make it here tonight. And everyone here in the U.S., please have a happy and safe